First of all, I'd love to just welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're really excited to be able to do this. We know that, with the pandemic, most of us are doing some things virtual now. And so we thought this would be a good opportunity to run a detox where we can meet regularly. So we'll do 4 meetings where we can support you during this detox. All of the meetings will be recorded and we'll have them on display. Or where you can access them on the Mighty Networks website. What I'd like to do is just kind of show you a little bit of an outline of how that Mighty Networks works, because it's a really great platform for us to give you the materials that you need and to have the meetings. So I'm going to share my screen. And you should be able to see my Mighty Networks site, right? Can you guys see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So the activity feed just kind of lists everything that we do. We won't use that as much. Mostly what I want to do is to show you the table of contents. So if you click on the overview, if you click on, this just gives a little bit of information about what we're doing, and you have access to a little video, and you can kind of read about what it means to be on the Mighty Networks and what some of the things that Mighty Networks does. And then you can click on, what is metabolic detoxification, and it's a little bit of an article about metabolic detoxification and what we're trying to do. Or you could click on why metabolic detox is not just about. So this was an article written by somebody who works at Metagenics. And then, so I would encourage you to kind of read through all of that. The virtual meetings just list when the meetings are, and there's a little bit of information on each one. Now, if you click on that virtual meeting, like today's, it doesn't have the link there. You still have to go to events and then click on the link. So I'll show you again what you do for the future. When you want to go to, let's say on Thursday, what you will do is you'll log on to this Mighty Networks site. And basically when you log on to Mighty Networks, in fact, let me just show you what that looks like. I'm going to go on to a different website and just start over. So I'm going to type in Mighty Networks, Mighty Networks. And then I'm going to click on there. So you can, save that page or bookmark it. But if you just go to Mighty Networks, you can click sign in, or you can click the link that I sent you. And that might be the easiest, but just in case you can't do that, then you type in CDA Healing. And click on CDA Healing, which is us. And this will list everything that we're doing, but we're going to go to courses because we have different courses here. And we're doing the spring metabolic detox today. All right. And so this is back to where we were before. We can go back to table of contents. And again, this lists everything that we're going to do. The last thing I want to show you in the table of contents is the resources. So we have all these different handouts. So we have the questionnaire, we have a shopping list, to help you find the foods that are all okay, and everything that we're going to go over today. We have the program guide, which is the same thing that you got in your kit, but here you can pull it up yourself and you open it as a PDF if you misplace it, or say you want to forward that to somebody else, feel free to do that. And then we have different information about how you detox and the different phases of detoxification. And then the last two are, or the last few are like the Dirty Dozen, and then the Clean 15. So we'll go into that a little bit more before the day is done about which foods are more important to get that are organic and which are okay to get if they're conventional or non-organic. And then we have some recipes. So Metagenics has some sample recipes there. And then Nikki added some of her recipes that she's used that she would like for you guys to have access to. So then when you're done with this, this is the table of contents, right? Or we clicked on resources. Now I'm going to close this up here. Okay. When on next Thursday, when you want to log in, you get onto our network here, and then you go to events. And then so today you clicked on this where it said Zoom meeting, and that's how you connected to the meeting today. Tomorrow or on Thursday, you just do the same thing. You just do it for the Thursdays. You click on the Zoom meeting there. And you want to say, let us know if you plan on coming, or if you're not going to be able to come, then you can click on, maybe not going, but I'm going to be there, so I'm going. So it's not, I may have too many things running. Come on. Okay. So that's a little bit how you navigate the Mighty Networks, which is called CDA Healing, is our sort of address on Mighty Networks. And if you have time, you can always go back where it says go back to network on the top left here. You can always log in and you can come see all the great things that we're going to offer. So any events that we have in the future, but we plan on doing a lot of fun things, and through the calendar and our website, once we get that complete, you'll be able to access this. So for example, coming up in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing a, Joseph, a counselor from Arizona, is going to be coming up, and we're going to go out into the land and do a mini retreat and connecting to nature. So you'll see some advertisements about that, but that would be also how you'd access this through Mighty Networks. And then in the future, we're going to even do things where people, patients and people in the community can share artwork, poems, and just really help create community through here. Okay, so what I'd like to do is we're going to have Nikki today start with a little presentation about why detoxification is important. And then we're going to go through the first few 4 days of what it entails and what we're going to do. And then we want to be here to ask questions. Oh, let me show you this, just so it's important so we don't forget. Right now, you can message us through Zoom, but let's say you have questions down the line that are that you want to be able to access us with. You can go to here where it says chat. And right here, you're going to be chatting all members. And so you can post a message here and we all can see it. If it's something more private, you can address me or Nikki by clicking on me, and then you, well, that won't really work. But when you're in the chat, because it's me, let's see, if I click on Nikki, I think I can message Nikki directly. Yeah, and so then I can say, hi, Nikki, and I can list whatever question I have directly to her. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And we're going to have Nikki give her presentation on just sort of what detoxification is about.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Toby. And I'm Nikki, and I thought I would start just a little bit by, just in case you can't stay for the whole thing tonight, one of the most important things about the detox, if you, in your box, you'll have the Clear Change 10-day program guide. I don't know if you've had a chance to look through it yet, but this leads you through everything. It's excellent. Is that okay, Dr. Toby, if I kind of go through this first and then I'll go on to the, okay, all right. So I just, at the very beginning here, and this is also underneath resources, you can access this, but on the very front page, this is so cool what Metagenics has done. It's the www.clearchangeprogram.com. If you log into that tonight when we're finished, put your email in every single day. They will send you a little text saying, hey, great job, you're on day 1. And they'll give you a recipe that's not in the book. They'll give you some hints. They'll give you a reminder on how much of the nutritional supplements you need to take. So I love that, because you get up in the morning and first thing you do is well, not first thing you do, but you'll check your email and it'll actually tell you, okay, this is what you're going to be doing today. And it's a really nice reminder. if you like going through the computer. Then the next page, let me get on to page 2 here. I just want to show you these. Before you get started, these are a couple really, really important things. You're going to be using the eating guidelines and recommended food list. And those are all provided. Every one of those things are provided in your book here. Don't make substitutions except for those that are recommended by Dr. Toby. If you've got some allergies or something, he can actually, help you with those substitutions, or I could even probably, if it's like fruit and vegetable related. Be sure to avoid any foods to which you know that you're intolerant or allergic. Before we even started, I was talking with a couple of you, and there is some food intolerances. So make sure if you're allergic to it, don't take it. Just skip that one completely. If you normally consume significant amounts of caffeinated beverages or a lot of simple sugars, you might want to gradually decrease that out of your system. I know that I did this about 2 weeks ago, and I kind of stopped cold turkey. And I felt that caffeine, not having that in my system for about 3 days. It was not a big deal. I just drank more fluids, and I went to like herbal teas. That's a great substitute. But just remember, you're going to want to drink more fluids if you're getting rid of coffee or highly caffeinated beverages or sugars. So really watch that. You'll kind of feel a little bit worse right at the beginning, or I at least had a little bit of a headache, but that went away pretty quickly. Be sure to take all of the recommended servings of the supplements. These products contain critical ingredients to nutritionally support your body's detoxification process. If you miss a dose of supplements, that's okay. Try and make it up within the same day if you can. The supplements are the Ultra Care Renew, and it's the big jug of the powder. And then the other is Advoclear, and those are actually the Advoclear that provides the detoxification and the antioxidant support with this. So you're going to want to take both of those, and those are listed out on the next pages exactly day by day when you take it. So it's made it really, really easy. Many people experience hunger at first, but that tends to dissipate. If you're feeling lightheaded or excessively fatigued, then you may not be consuming enough calories. Eat as much as allowed. You can eat as much as you want, basically, but just make sure it's from the foods that are allowed. Ensure that you're experiencing a daily bowel movement. Please speak with Dr. Toby if you think you might need to add an additional fiber supplement, such as like Metafiber, and he's got some other recommendations for you. But if you already have problems with constipation or diarrhea, you might want to talk to him a little bit beforehand to make sure you don't experience that in the diet. You're going to be getting a lot more fiber in your diet. So that sometimes will make them a little bit more runny at times. And limiting coffee actually makes people constipated at times. So just know your body and listen to it. Remember to drink at least 2 quarts or 64 ounces of plain, filtered or mineral water each day. Strenuous or prolonged exercise should be reduced during the program, as you may be consuming fewer calories than you normally do. Your body really needs the extra fuel and the nutrients and vitamins just to detox. So really try and kind of slow things down, maybe go to more of a softer yoga instead of your running. I actually did. By day 7, 8, 9, I felt like I could do anything. I felt so good. So just be cognizant of that. Your body is still trying to recover and trying to detox. So give it a little bit more rest. And then the last thing that I wanted, the really critical thing, the Ultra Clear, the big jug of powdered, when you mix it up, you've only got 30 minutes to drink it. So don't like mix up a whole day's worth. So just mix it up for that, and then you drink it within 30 minutes. I don't know what happens after 30 minutes. I just always drank it before that time, but that is one of the warnings. On page 4 of this, if you guys have got your books in front of you, that gives you a breakdown of when you take the supplements. Like day 2, there's 1 scoop 2 times a day, and you take the Advoclear 2 one capsule 2 times a day. Doesn't matter if they're at the same time, like both the Advoclear and the Ultra Clear, you take them at the same time in the morning and evening, totally fine. But it's just kind of a real good breakdown so you can see, okay, when am I going to be taking these? And then on the next page, it goes through the fruits, vegetables, animal proteins by the different days. What is really nice though, so you can look here, if you know the fruits and vegetables and everything, it's all on there and tells the days that you need to do different things. But on the next page, this is page 6 and 7. So it's actually 6, 7, and 8. All the recommended foods are on page 6, 7, and 8. Most, and you can kind of flip back and forth, and they've given you about 3 different ways to figure out how you're going to eat, when you're going to eat, that sort of thing. You're going to figure out what is best for you. I actually like just to get my little message in the morning on the computer from Metagenics, and it basically told me. But for the carbohydrates, days 1, 2, 8, and 9, we start out with the core, with the grains. You could have quite a few different grains, or 1, 2, and 9, amaranth, buckwheat, millet, quinoa, oats, different types of rice, teff. Those are all listed on there. The one that you could have days, an additional day 1, 2, 8, 9, it's in gray. It's kind of grayed out, and that means you can have it a little bit more often. That's white rice. What they're really trying to do is limit those allergens. The core fruits, you can have basically all the fruits on most of the days. Day 5 through 7, though, we're limiting your fruit intake to core fruits, which is in the little gray box, and those are apples and pears. So just remember, 5, 6, and 7 is apples and pears. The rest of the days 1 through 10, minus day 5 through 7, you can have pretty much all all fruits. And then same thing goes with the vegetables. We've got almost every vegetable listed here that you can have, but on day 5 through 7, we're limiting it down to the core vegetables, and they're kind of highlighted in this gray box. And I'll just go over with them. It's more the cruciferous vegetables, the broccoli flower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, then the onions and garlics and stuff, those are also in there. Green onions, scallions. Then you can have a lot of the different greens, arugula, collards, dandelions. You guys can read all those. All varieties of lettuce, kohlrabi, leeks, onions, radishes, rutabagas, turnips. On day 5 through 7, I actually put a couple under the resources, Nikki's favorite recipes. I tried to incorporate those. It's actually kind of fun to kind of try different things and mix it up a little bit. I made some pretty good stuff. It was, I'd never used kohlrabi before, and so it was kind of nice to kind of increase that palate. Proteins. So if there's anyone that are total vegetarians and you're not going to do any kind of meats, there is, you can actually do legumes instead, and that's on page 6, and it tells all the different types of legumes that you can substitute for the fish. But the proteins on days 1, 2, and 9, it's pretty much opened up. They want chicken, lamb, turkey, wild game, buffalo, elk, venison, free range type meats. But on days 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, that is limited to fish. And there's a list of acceptable fish. The big thing with fish is we want you to do no farm raised. We want you to do the wild caught. We're trying to get away from all the different hormones and pesticides and things in the other things. Fats and oils. This is my favorite area. The fats are great. They do have avocado is considered a fat, so you can have that every single day, and it's kind of in the gray area. But canola oil, coconut oil, flaxseed, ghee, if you really need that flavor of butter, that works great. Grapeseed, safflower, olive oil, the extra virgin, and the sesame oil. Those are every single day you can have those. And I probably don't need to be going through these things, but I just want to make sure that you're aware that it's not a strict diet or detox, but you have options and you really want to go with the plan. The last thing I kind of want to go through is herbs and spices. There is pretty much all herbs and spices are located on this. So, and that also, they also talk about different sweeteners, monk fruit and stevia you can have on days 1, 2, and 9. The rest of the days, no sweeteners. Beverages, every day we're limiting caffeine and we're limiting sugar drinks, but green tea unsweetened. And I think you were asking about green tea, Crystal. That is on here, it's acceptable. Mineral water, carbonated mineral waters, rooibos teas, water, ideally it would be filtered. So, and then all the different herbal teas. So there's a lot of different things on here. The next pages, and I'll let you go through this by yourself, but it gives you day 1, sample menus, day 2, sample menus, and it also tells you when to take the supplements and how many. So like I said, there's like 3 or 4 different places in here. You just pick your favorites and just know what foods are on the list that are recommended. Dr. Toby, in that resource area, he's got a list so you can go grocery shopping and you know you can just take right with you to the grocery store and know what you can have and what you can't have. So hopefully that was okay. I'm going to apologize beforehand. I've not ever done this mighty network really before, so I apologize. But if you have any questions, just let me know. Any questions on the booklet? You should all. Does everybody have that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Great, great. So yeah, and then you can also just chat with me or email me if you do have questions on this or if it's confusing.
Yeah. Before we move on to the PowerPoint presentation, I think it's just really important that everybody's moving their bowels regularly. So when you're detoxifying, there's like 2 main things, right? We want to avoid getting toxins in. That's why it's important to stay clear, eat organically, eat very clean, but then we're also trying to get them out. And so to get them out, we have to make sure that, our kidneys are working right, that we're able to urinate. And then we're also that we're, having bowel movements every day. So if you're not having regular bowel movements, it's important that we support you to do that. Reach out to me if you need some more help, especially during this detox, to make sure that your bowels are moving regularly.
Okay.
Got it.
Thanks, Dr. Toby. That is so important. Okay, let me see if I'm going to try and share my screen and bring up a PowerPoint. Here we go. Host disabled participant screen share. Dr. Toby, I think you have to enable me to, and you're muted.
So Nikki, I forgot that we started something new. So let me remember how we changed that.
And thank you guys for being patient with us.
No
This
problem.
first time thing will definitely, or I will get better. Dr. Toby's already got this pretty well, but. And if needed, I could just come downstairs.
Why don't we do that for now?
Okay.
Yeah, I forget how we limited that. So okay. Come on down if you don't mind doing that.
Punctuous.
Oh.
Crystal, do you use, oh, you're not, yeah. Crystal, can you hear me? Do you have experience with how setting up meetings? Because we did this before and now I'm not seeing it. Somehow it limited so other people can't share, and I'm not seeing where that is.
I haven't ran one, but my husband does sometimes. Let me ask him real quick.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're fine.
I don't have it here. And then let me see where I can find that. Oh, okay. Do you know what? I just found it.
Oh,
Oh, you
good.
figured it out?
Okay.
Okay.
So
He was
yeah, I
coming.
think it should work now. Nikki, why don't you try it now?
It is
Okay.
Zoom. It is Zoom. Okay. Yeah.
Share
I did.
screen.
Thank you. Sorry, Crystal.
Nope, he's good. Yeah, we're good.
Okay,
Okay, so I
there we
think,
go. Good.
does that look right?
Yeah, now you just have to select your PowerPoint.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, can you guys all see that?
Perfect.
Great. So I am going to be reading a few notes because I haven't figured out how to put my captions on the bottom. So bear with me here. I guess first of all, I'm just super excited. We're all doing this clear change together. I actually did the program about 2 weeks ago. Just wanted to make sure I kind of knew how it felt. And if you have any questions during it, just let me know, because I went through the whole thing and it was actually fabulous. It was a much better cleanse detox than I've ever done in my life. So I hope you guys all have the same response. The main reason most people think about detoxing is to help reduce fatigue and increase vitality. And that is definitely what we're wanting to help you with this clear change. Are you toxic? The question is not if you're toxic. We are all toxic. It's how toxic are we? Mm-hmm. There's been many studies on different toxin levels in people. This one, and actually we've got they ran about 6 different studies that I can actually get you links to if you ever want to read them. But there was 212 chemicals tested in this particular study and found that all these chemicals were in the blood and urine of most Americans, which is just really sad. That's a lot of toxins. At birth, they find toxins in newborn babies. The day they're born, they find toxins. And then as we live, we're just exposed to more and more, and it just builds up in our bodies. If you think about it, it's in like the pesticides they use, in the foods we eat, in the water bottles. They talk a lot about the plastics being toxic. They are in everything. Everything. Unfortunately, there are certain factors that play a huge role in how we get rid of our toxins. Genetics. Sometimes people are more exposed environmentally. If you have an unhealthy diet and lifestyle, it can be more difficult to get rid of those toxins, or you could build up more toxins. How do you know if you need to make the change? Well, I think Dr. Toby kind of brought this idea to you to, we need to get you detoxed. So that was a great one. But a lot of times there are certain symptoms that you'll notice. Generalized muscle aches, difficulty concentrating, general fatigue, food allergies, or chemical sensitivities, irritability, lethargy, weakness, abdominal discomfort. Toxins, it affects everybody differently. For myself, it was the difficulty concentrating and just fatigue and sometimes irritable. But we've all got kind of different things. So kind of watch and know your body. Maybe over the last few weeks, months, you kind of noticed these changes, and maybe that's why Dr. Toby referred you to this program. Now, what can you do? Let's start out with the environment. So reducing some of the toxins you're bringing in, and this includes like your soaps, detergents, cleaning products, even the dryer sheets. Look for more natural products that don't have chlorine, they don't have phthalates, they don't have parabens. Even like read the labels on your soaps and your shampoos so that they don't have the phthalates and the parabens. Those are all toxins that you need to get out of your house. Like what Dr. Toby said earlier, we're trying to limit the amount of toxic exposure our body has so that we could really filter and allow our bodies to clean it out, and then we can, you know, poop it out and pee it out and get rid of all those things. So we don't want to be bringing anything into our body that's toxic while we're doing this. People that have chlorine, I thought this was interesting. Chlorine in your water, you could actually get a shower filter. And I didn't realize that. We don't have chlorinated water where I live, but they actually have a lot of filters that are on the market that you can get rid of that chlorine, and that's absorbed into your skin really quickly. You can reduce your exposure to toxins, food and drink wise. Choose free range, hormone free, antibiotic free, dairy meats, eggs, whenever possible. On this diet detox, we're not the eggs. I don't know if you guys noticed, that was not allowed in as one of the proteins. It's mostly fish, and then on a few of those days, it's mostly fish. But here again, we want to make sure that it's not farm raised. You want to have the cold water so it doesn't have all the toxins and the hormones. When possible, eat the organic produce. Always wash the produce. Even if it is organic, we want you to wash it before you're peeling it. Just get off anything off the surface. The I can never say this, environmental working group, they came up with a dirty dozen and a clean 15. The ones that you want to buy organic are considered the dirty dozen. And I think of this is when someone told me that if you can pierce it with your thumbnail, it's probably you need to buy it organic. If you can't, some of the thicker peels and stuff, then those a lot of times you can buy conventional, but I'll give you the list here. So organic, the ones that are the highest in pesticides: celery, peaches, strawberries, apples, blueberries, nectarines, bell peppers, spinach, cherries, kale and collard greens, potatoes, and imported grapes. So those you want to buy organic. The lowest in pesticides, or we also say conventionally grown: onions, avocados, sweet corn, pineapple, mangoes, sweet peas, asparagus, kiwi, cabbage, eggplant, cantaloupe, watermelon, grapefruit, sweet potato, and honeydew melon. I guess a few of those you can pierce really easy with your thumbnail, but that's kind of a nice rule of thumb when you're walking around the grocery store. That's what I kind of look for. What else can you do? Metabolic detoxification is simply normalizing the body's ability to process and get rid of the toxins. While you're trying, like what we're trying to do with getting rid of all these environmental and food toxins, we're temporarily reducing the amount of toxins that are actually coming into your body. And then the metabolic detoxification, it is energy dependent. So what's different about the metagenics or the clear change is we don't want to starve you. We want to give you the nutrients, the vitamins, so that your body, specifically your liver, can do its very best to detox from all the chemicals that you've had your entire life bringing into your body. This program utilizes well-researched nutrients, vitamins, and herbs to balance and support the body's detoxification pathways. The liver is our body's main detoxification organ. I just talked about that. Juicing and other fasting programs, they actually deprive your body of the essential nutrients needed to support detoxification. And I don't know for sure, but when I've done like juice fasts and the starvation detox, I felt terrible the whole time. My brain fog might have lifted, but I felt really bad. And the more I read about this, the more I realize your body needs those nutrients to actually help your liver and help your body detox. So it's really important we give it what it needs. This one I thought was so interesting. I didn't realize there was any diets or any detox plans that got rid of heavy metals, but this one actually does. it actually gives, the Metagenics program actually gives you the nutrients to increase a protein that your body makes called metallothionein, and that helps support the heavy metal, getting rid of the heavy metals. I thought that was amazing. I've actually never seen that in any other detox programs. So the clear change difference, whoops, let me see if I can go back. I didn't mean to push that. The Clear Change program nutritionally supports all the systems that are involved in the metabolic detoxification. Yes, we just said that. It's based on 20 years of clinical experiments and scientific research. And I think it's actually over that. Dr. Toby and I had a meeting with one of the Metagenics reps, and I think he said it was up to like 23 years. So a lot of years of practice. This program has been utilized by thousands of healthcare practitioners and hundreds of thousands of patients for more than 20 years. There we go. Benefits: more energy, less fatigue. Patients report feeling less foggy-headed. They don't have that brain fog. They report feeling less need for caffeine and those sugar cravings. When I was going through the detox, it was probably day 7, 8, 9, 10. That's when I didn't even think about coffee, wasn't really even thinking about sugar. It was, you felt wonderful. You didn't even crave those things anymore. Less water retention. So we're not trying to, this is not really a weight loss, but one of the benefits, when you get the toxins out of your body and you have a more metabolically healthy body, sometimes weight loss does follow, but we're not actually focusing on weight loss for this. We're just trying to detox and get you healthier.
And then one thing, Nikki, I'd like to add is, a lot of people would like to lose weight, and one of the things that's important is I always recommend doing the detoxification before you start losing weight. And that's because most of the chemicals and toxins that are stored in our body are stored in the fat. And once you start losing weight and you start reducing fat, that gets excreted. And that's why a lot of times, like, you feel bad when you start losing weight. And we want to support your body's detoxification pathways so that this prepares you, as we start getting closer to summer and we're all, wanting to get back in shape. It's nice to be able to do this. And then, when we're after the 10-day detox, there's things that we can do to make sure that we stay, keep our metabolic detoxification pathways active, so that as we get into more weight loss, and you can kind of think of this sometimes as sort of jump starting your body, just getting ready, now that the weather's getting nicer, so that we can, do the things that we need to be more active, feel better, have less cravings, eat healthier, exercise more. So Metagenics and kind of what I believe in too for weight loss is it's a lifestyle. And we need to, what's going to work well over the long haul. But the detoxification process is great to get started on as you start making those changes.
Perfect. That's so true. Thank you. When you had said something about springtime, that brought me back to what Brigitte had said. And springtime is the best time to detox because everything is kind of becoming alive, and the whole, then everything around us is kind of detoxing, and we're doing the same thing. We're coming alive. We're starting to move. So we want to get all of that bad stuff out that we've had built up all winter long, and actually for the past year with COVID, but yeah.
So, and in Chinese medicine, the season of spring correlates with the phase of the liver. So the organ network, liver, that's why I like to do the detoxes in the spring. And our livers are sort of primed for action. The color's green. Really, the spring is just a great time to do a detox. You can do it other times, but it doesn't make sense to do it in the winter. Like, we're not detoxifying, we're not cleaning out. We do our spring cleaning because now, things, that's the time of year. It just makes sense with emotion. So yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. That's Perfect. And how do we get started? Well, you guys have done the right steps. You've already got everything. So Dr. Toby, was it under resources where the metabolic detoxification questionnaire is?
Yeah, and some people may have picked one up when they came into the clinic, but if you don't have one of these, you should really fill this out prior to starting and get your score. But the metabolic detoxification questionnaire is a PDF file. It's under resources, so you can print that out and kind of go through it. We want to do before and after.
Yeah, and just so you can look and see how much changes. I was shocked. I didn't think I was very toxic, and I was totally shocked at what a change it made. So definitely do it, maybe even tonight or tomorrow morning before you start the detox, and then on day 10, do it again and just kind of compare. So we'll follow the Metagenics Clear Change. It's actually a 3-step process. What we're in today, what we're going to be starting tomorrow actually, is the step 1. That's the initial clearing, and that goes day 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you're going to start eliminating certain foods, and then that's where we're going to go back to the 10-day program guide is really, really important. So that'll tell what foods you can have. It's not as strict day 1, 2, 3, and 4. So just start limiting those, and then your nutritional supplementations will start going up. So at this time, just during this time, remember to eat fresh or frozen vegetables and try and get organically grown as much as possible. And we are starting this on a Monday, so that on the most difficult days or the most restrictive days, 5, 6, and 7, it'll be over a weekend. So hopefully you'll have a little bit more time to rest and relax. The step 2, that is that time we just talked about, 5, 6, and 7. On those days, you'll be eating the much more select variety, and they were in those little kind of gray boxes in your guide. So make sure that you're following those and you're only getting the ones in the gray boxes. That was the core fruit and the core vegetables. And then just remember, on this part, sometimes it's kind of hard you might feel like you're more hungry. You can definitely eat more of it. We don't want you to be hungry on this diet. You're also going to be at the maximum amount of the nutritional supplements at this time as well. So make sure you're watching and getting your supplements in. Step 3 is the reintroduction. This was such an interesting part because we're bringing those foods back in, and even some of the foods that we thought were, they're on the diet plan, you might have a reaction to them. So just start listening to your body when you're reintroducing these foods back in. If you start experiencing any like bloating or headache or more fatigue, skin changes, just monitor that and then just say, oh, okay, I maybe need to stay away from this. Maybe I can't have, I don't know, cherries, for an example. Maybe you can't bring that back in your diet. And then on day 10, even when the diet or when the detox is over, remember, just bring things back in very, very slowly so you can kind of see how your body does with it. A good example is I think it was like 2 days after the detox was completed, I decided to bring bread back in. My joints started hurting. I've completely limited bread since that time, and I feel so much better. This is the first time I've actually ever realized that. So just listen to your body. It's sometimes they're really subtle, but sometimes it's kind of hits you upside the head. Okay, this is what Crystal and I were talking about before the whole thing. If you're a coffee drinker, day 3 might be the toughest part because that's when you start getting those caffeine withdrawals. Dr. Toby, I don't know if you have any recommendations. My thing was I drank green tea and I drank nettle tea and I drank a lot more fluids just to keep hydrated, and that seemed to help. But do you have any other recommendations?
Well, I think green tea, I'm a big fan of the green tea because green tea really helps with detoxification. You're going to get some caffeine through that. So drinking green tea more throughout the day. I guess it depends how much coffee. I've had patients come in drinking like 20 cups of coffee, that's
Oh.
going to be really difficult. If you're drinking 1 or 2 cups a day, and hopefully, most people are not drinking more than 1 or 2 cups a day. If it is more than 1 or 2 cups a day, probably decrease it a little bit slower. So let's say you're drinking 3 cups, maybe the first day drink, instead of stopping all at once, maybe doing 2 cups and then 1 cup, but getting your caffeine more through green tea. I do have a caffeine supplement that is a little bit healthier that can be used, but I think it's better to kind of try to push through if you can. One thing too that I can't remember what's on the list, but I see a lot of people drinking or avoiding dairy and then drinking almond milk. I do see a lot of almond milk allergies, and I don't remember if almond milk is on the list or not, but that's something that we might want to be careful with, sort of on a separate note. Generally, I see people do better with coconut milk or rice milk or some of those alternatives.
And they
definitely,
actually,
if you're drinking coffee, please make sure that you're never using like any of the like International Delights or Carnation or those types of things, because they're just chock full of chemicals. So that's one thing to be aware of moving down the line. You're much better off if you tolerate dairy to have, real cream or half and half. But there are so many alternatives now that are much safer. But almond milk, I see a lot of allergies too. And so I would be careful with almond milk.
okay. And that
Is
would
almonds
be
on the list?
you know what? It's actually not on the list. No milks are on the list at all, but almonds, you could have nuts and seeds day 1, 2, and 9.
Okay.
And that is actually listed, but almond milk is not even on here.
But coconut milk is, right? Because you can have coconut yogurt and stuff.
Yes, and that's supposed to, the coconut milk they consider a fat. So they actually do list that as you can have that on day 1, 2, and 9.
Perfect.
Sometimes too, if you're prone to getting headaches, when you're not getting your caffeine, chiropractic treatments, acupuncture can be really helpful too. So, trying to take it easy for the first couple of days. If you are drinking a lot of coffee, just drinking less, as little as you can get, or, if the green tea doesn't work, then, a little bit of coffee if you need to, but in black, but of course we're trying to avoid that if we can.
And Dr. Toby, I actually just found the dairy alternatives. So
Okay.
all almond, and this is only on day 1, 2, and 9, almond milk, coconut milk, hazelnut, hemp, rice milk, and yogurt, coconut yogurt.
Yeah, I would just be extra careful just because I test a lot of people's IgG, like immunoglobulins to almonds, and most people end up avoiding dairy and start drinking almond milk, end up developing antibodies, and that can be a problem. So I would include almond milk, maybe not use some other of those alternatives during those days. Okay. But green tea is really good. And then there are some green teas that are stronger. So like if you really are used to having a lot of coffee, maybe a matcha green tea would be the way to go. And there's specific antioxidants in green tea that are very helpful and supportive of the liver and do help with the detoxification process. So that's why green tea is really good to use. And you can drink it iced, you can drink it hot. You can drink it all, throughout the day. Sometimes, like what they do, all my Chinese instructors, they would put loose green tea in a mug, or like not even a mug. They would probably use like an old spaghetti jar, and just keep adding hot water throughout the day. So the first cup will be stronger, and then you're just getting a little bit of flavor, but you're drinking more water. And that's kind of a fun way to get more water in and get a little bit of flavor. And you could add some herbal tea into that too, and drink that throughout the day.
That's a great idea. That's perfect. Thank you, Dr. Toby. I think we're almost done. Don't overscoop. They have put in just the right amount for the whole program. So just, level, I kind of would tap mine down and just level it off, and that's how much you need. And you'll get pretty good at that by day 7, 8, or 9. And we've already talked about elimination. Make sure that you are eliminating having 1 to 2 bowel movements a day. Drink plenty of water, 64 ounces. I think that's 2 quarts. Lots of fluids. I think I actually, probably because of my coffee intake, I drank more than that. And now I've become more of a coffee or a water lover. So that was good for me. Eat plenty of food. You should not be hungry on this program. If you're hungry, eat more of the allowed foods. And those are all in the guidebook. And then at the very, very back of the guidebook, there is some blank pages. And this was kind of, they asked some questions like, today I noticed my energy level to be, or today I feel inspired to. Just write down your thoughts. If certain things don't agree with you or you're feeling a certain way, write those down so you can kind of keep track of that. 10 days is a long time and you tend to forget. So it was kind of nice. I read back over it and it kind of helped me refresh my memory on how I was feeling beforehand and how certain foods made me feel. And so I've actually just kept those foods in my diet since then because some of them are really good. So just keep track of it. And then we're back to that metabolic detoxification questionnaire that you filled out at the beginning. Make sure you're filling it out at the end so that you can let us know how you did. All the support you need for success. So Dr. Toby and we're here for you. There's online support. Also, there's that www.clearchangeprogram.com. If you sign up for that tonight, they will send you every morning a little email that kind of gives you a brief overview of what to expect and the supplements and stuff like that. And usually they have a diet or just kind of a word of wisdom on that. And that's kind of nice to get that. So I think that is, yeah, that's it. This is some things that after the program, if you're interested in, we could talk more about that to kind of keep you energized and it kind of takes the Metagenics program even further.
So a couple of things that I would like to talk about too before we open up for questions. So what is great about this program is that it's giving you both phase 1 and phase 2 support. So sometimes people feel really bad when you're only doing phase 1, which is you're taking these fat soluble chemicals and you're pulling them out and you're making them more available, like they get into your brain and they make you feel like crap. Like you don't feel good. So you have to be able to get them out of your body. So this, the powder and the other supplement that you're taking, the AdvoClear, gives you the nutrients for both phase 1 and phase 2. If you still have difficulties while you're detoxing, there are some other things that we can do. So make sure you reach out to us. They do recommend, and you guys are probably all doing this, is taking fish oil and probiotics. So it's not included in here, but go ahead and take your fish oil, take your probiotics, or get it through the non-dairy yogurts that they talked about, or even like the Good Belly juice is a great way to get a specific strain of probiotic that I like called Lactobacillus plantarum 299V. And you can get the Good Belly juice at most health food stores. Pilgrim's has it. And let's see, yeah, just reach out to us. I think the other thing that I want to make sure that you so when it comes to the powder, you can just like mix it in the shaker without all the extra like fruits or making different smoothies or different recipes. Like sometimes we just don't have time. But if you want to include it and make a smoothie, you certainly can do that. And we have all those recipes. And we had an open house here on Friday night, and Nikki made a couple different shakes. And I'd love for you just to share the shake that you made. Like I love the one with the apples and the pears because that one was great. And
oh yeah, that one actually. And you could have day 1 through day 9. It was it followed the whole diet. I actually had that pretty much every morning. But it was 1 scoop of the powder or 2 scoops, just depending on what day you're on. And then I would chop up a banana, or not a banana, excuse me, a pear and an apple, and I'd put them in there. And then I just blend it up with like a cup of ice. It was And I think it calls for like 8 ounces of water also. So I just blend all that up, and it's like a kind of a pear apple smoothie. It's really good. And it blends really nicely. I had vanilla, but I think it would actually go really good with the chai or the other. In fact, I was putting cinnamon in mine, so that would probably taste a lot like the chai one.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, it was super easy, and it just takes a minute in the blender, and it actually, I like the shaker because I work a lot, and so I would just take that with me to work. But if you have a chance to blend it, it actually tastes good, and it actually feels good in your mouth.
All right, well, let's open up for questions.
I just wanted to make sure any other supplements that we're taking, are they okay to stick with as well?
Yeah, so a lot of things, I guess it would depend on any specific ones for me to say for 100%, like if you want to drop me a list. But yeah, most things are going to be just fine. In fact, they'll enhance I'm trying to think if there'd be anything that would be difficult. No, you want to stay on your, if you're on medications, you got to stay on your medications too. So don't stop your medications. Crystal, if you're comfortable, you could, list something if you're concerned about it, or you can email me, separately, and I'm
Like
happy
the SAMI or the ADK, all that's good?
Yes, all that's fine. That'll work together for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, because the SAMI is actually helping you methylate, and it's helping you clear and detox more. So I wouldn't stop that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just know sometimes I have done another detox, and they say they don't want you to take anything. So I just wanted to make sure it was good. Thank you.
Yeah, no, especially those, I think they're important to continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Toby, I have a problem with weight loss because I'm never hungry. I have to force myself to eat. Do you think that this is a good program for me, or
Yeah, so
would it help?
right. So one of the things is I'm not worried about you losing weight, right? Because you want to make sure you're still eating. You're just going to be eating, really healthy. And it's for 10 days. That's why you're not starving yourself. You're getting all the nutrients that you need to function. Metagenics was the very first company to come out with their functional food. So it's cleared as an FDA through the FDA because it's giving you all the nutrients that you need.
Excellent.
So you don't have to worry about that, but you make sure you do eat.
Yeah, I have to. Otherwise, I get real.
Right. So, there's different reasons if you have a difficult time keeping on weight. So this may not necessarily solve that, but it's definitely safe for you to do.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the program. I'm going to have to leave now.
Oh, you're welcome. Just make sure you know that if you run into anything, you can message us. Like you could message us through the Mighty Networks. You could message us through the email because you have both Nikki and I's email. Or, you can call the office if you're not hearing from one of us, say there's some sort of breakdown in one of the systems, whatever. Just call the office and they always give me the messages that I need so I can get back to you.
Will do. Thank you so much, both of you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
I just messaged you guys. I have to go too. So thank you so much.
Well, thanks, Crystal. Good to see you.
You too. Have a good night.
Good
You
night.
too.
And bye, Marion. We can't hear you, but if you have a message, let's see.
And she did say, okay, got it. She did say that
Okay.
a few minutes, well, actually a while ago, but
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, Marion, yeah, if any of you guys have any questions, just reach out to us. Okay, well, that will conclude tonight. Make sure you try to join us on Thursday night. And that way, if you have other questions, you can reach out to us that way. And then we can kind of check in and see how everybody's doing. Okay, so until Thursday night, I say good night.
good night. Thank you.